I'm the last born of the family, of this family. So,
ready?
Okay. Go. Go. Right there.
If you guys have any questions or comments, you can share it. We're on page 126 of Tao of Jeet Kune. Feinting is an essential part of an attack. The more the opponent can be caught off guard, or more important still, off balance by means of feints, the better. The speed of your feint is dependent upon the reaction of your opponent. Thus, feinting, like speed and distance, must be regulated to your opponent's reaction. The 1-2 feints can be utilized laterally, inside outside, outside inside, or vertically high low, low high, with only one hand or with the two combined. The first movement, the feint, must be long and deep or penetrating to draw the parry. The second movement, the hit, must be fast and decisive in its deception of the parry, allowing the defender no possibility of recovery. Thus, the feint rhythm is long-short. Even in the delivery of compound attacks with 2 feints, the depth of the first feint must force the opponent to move to the defense. But as at this stage the measure has been considerably shortened, the second feint cannot be too long. There is no room and no time to do so. Thus, the rhythm or cadence of a 2 feint compound attack will be long, short, short. The more advanced form of feinting with the change of cadence could be described as short, long, short. The object of this variation would be to mislead the adversary, making him believe that the second feint, long, was the final action of a compound attack, thus drawing the parry. By long, we do not really mean slow. While penetrating deeply toward the opponent, the feint must be fast. The combination of speed and penetration are the factors which draw the desired reaction from the defense. If an opponent doesn't react to feints, an attack with straight or simple movements is advisable. By making several real, economical, simple attacks first, the feints will be more effective. The opponent will not know whether a simple attack or a feint followed by deception is being executed. This is especially effective against a less mobile opponent to promote a reaction. The same tactic might excite the speed-footed opponent into flight. Feints can also be made in the order of false attacks to carry the opponent's counterattack and to riposte or make a fast return or a counter return. Object of the feint: to open the line in which one intends to attack, to make the opponent hesitate while immediately closing the distance, to deceive the parry which the feint provokes, to trap and hit, or to delay the attack and hit as the opponent moves back to recover. introduction of the feint, as a direct thrust, as an evasive thrust, as an engagement, as a disengagement, as pressure, as a violent pressure, as a beat, as a cutover for immobilization. Parries to evade, simple, circular, counter, or changing. The number of parries to evade can be single, dual, or plural. Execution. Assume the en-garde position. Advance slowly. While advancing, give a quick bend of the forward knee. This gives the impression that the arms are moving as well as the legs. In reality, the arms are held relaxed and ready as though committing the lead hand for the opponent. Make a slight forward movement of the upper body, bending the forward knee and moving the head hand slightly forward, moving the lead hand slightly forward. While advancing, take a long step forward with the lead foot, as in the quick advance, and jab the lead arm into extension without hitting the opponent. Be extra sensitive to counters while advancing. Be economical. From this close position, fold the lead arm back to the body and jab to the chin. Another effective feint is a short bend of the body above the rear hip while moving forward. The step in, step out feint means stepping forward one step as if to jab with the lead hand, but instead stepping out of range by pivoting off to the outside with the lead leg. Now step in as if to feint, but drive a lead jab to the chin. Step out immediately. Continue one time feinting, the next time actually jabbing with the lead hand. If possible, follow the lead jab with a straight rear thrust to the chin. 1, 2.
What is fainting?
Faking.
Oh, faking. Oh.
Yeah. He calls it feinting, but it's basically like faking them. Other feints. Feint a lead jab to the face and jab to the stomach. Feint a lead jab to the stomach and jab to the face. Feint a jab to the face, feint a rear thrust to the face, and then jab the lead to the chin. Feint a rear thrust to the jaw and hook the lead to the body. Feint a lead jab to the chin and deliver a rear uppercut to the body. Compare all the above for kicking feints. Study head feints explained earlier. Find an accurate feeling for distance and correct balanced posture while feinting. Parrying is a sudden movement of the hand from the inside or outside onto an oncoming blow to deflect the blow from its original path. It is a light, easy movement depending on timing rather than force. A blow is never parried until the last moment and always when close to the body. There are three parries: simple, semicircular, circular. It's a single offensive movement. If the attacker's movements are large and badly directed, a simple parry would be the answer. Don't forget the stop hit. Simple parries tend to be used without discrimination because they are instinctive movements. Thus, great care must be taken that they are well controlled and covered just enough. Avoid any slashing or whipping of the guards. Remember simplicity. Study the 8 basic defensive positions. The object in the parry is to use just enough deflecting motion to protect the threatened area. If you overprotect, move the hand too far to one side, you are immediately vulnerable to disengaging attacks. To reach out to parry a blow not only makes openings for counter blows, but also enables the opponent to change the direction of his blow. Remember, parry late rather than early.
What's parry again?
It's like a block, but it's not really a block because it's redirecting. So when they're punching at you, you just go like that, and then you just redirect it. That's a parry. Parrying is an extremely useful form of defense. It is easily learned, easily performed, and should be used whenever possible. Advantageous openings are created which are essential to counter fighting. Parrying is more refined than blocking, which uses force and causes contusion of the tissues, nerves, and bones. Blocking should be used only when it is necessary because it weakens rather than conserves bodily force. A well-delivered blow, even if blocked, will disturb balance, prevent countering, and create openings for other blows. So that's kind of like, a block is kind of like what happened, like he kicked you in the wrist. Like he didn't kick you in the stomach, but he kicked you in the wrist, so you pretty much blocked with your wrist. And that's what hurt you. But if you would have parried where he kicked and you went like this, then it just redirected it and then you wouldn't have got hurt. This is another block. Like if they kick you or they punch you and you go like that, you didn't get hit in the head, but you got hit against the arm, and that's still going to hurt you, right? So he's talking about parrying whenever you can and to avoid blocking whenever possible. Successful parries are brought about by placing the defensive hand across the path of the thrust so that should there be any force in the blow, it would slide off. Sometimes the fighter must feel that in deflecting the thrust or kick, he is in reality taking possession of it. That through the contact he obtains, he will feel his opponent's reactions when the latter realizes his attack has failed. Only use a parry against a real attack. The opponent's false attacks can be followed with half positions. Exercises. The teacher directs strikes or thrusts to different parts of the target. The student follows these movements, but stops when the teacher stops, parrying only the real attacks. Next, the teacher makes the same threats, but the student does not follow with his hand. Again, the parry is taken only when the real strike or thrust comes. This procedure teaches the student they parry only at the last moment. Against a simple parry, that is, a lateral crossing of hands, attack with disengagement on another line. When making the opposition parry to apply the beat parry, your hand should not swing too far to the right or left. Merely close the line or deflect the opponent's hand, leaving just enough room to arrive on the target. The beat parry is usually followed by a fast return against a sharp and powerful opponent. Semicircular parries are those taken from a high line of engagement that deflect an attack directed in a low line or from a low line engagement to a high line. They describe a half circle. Parries of octave, low outside, and septime, low inside, are those used for defense against attacks directed in the low line, but for tactical reasons they can be alternatives to the parries of 60, high outside, and 40, high inside. Study the parries in fencing. Against a very fast fighter or one with a marked superiority of height or reach, it is often necessary to step backwards when making a parry. When parrying with the step backwards, the parry should be taken as the rear foot moves backwards to the course of breaking ground. In other words, the parry should be formed with the step back and not after it has been completed. The step back as a defensive movement should always be adjusted to the length of the opponent's attacking movements to ensure that the required measure is maintained for a successful parry and riposte. A circular parry envelops the attacker's wrist and brings it back to the original line of invitation while deflecting it off the target. Sweep away from the thrust from the target by the shortest route with your shoulder relaxed. Counter or 60 is taken by moving the hand clockwise, while counter of 40 will require a counterclockwise rotation of the blade. Circular parry, when used in the high line, starts under the adversary's hand. When used in the low line, it starts over the opponent's hand. The advantages of circular parries over opposition or beat parries is that they protect a larger amount of the target and are more difficult to deceive. However, they are not as rapid as the simple parries. Time spent in speeding them up will pay good dividends. When using the circular parries, be sure that the hand describes a perfect circle so that it finishes in its original position. Do not start or finish the parry too soon, for your hand must follow the opponent's and should meet his hand just before it is about to arrive on the target. Use the circular parry also to mess up the opponent's two feints. Compound parries consist of two or more like parries or a combination of different parries. Each single parry must be finished, bringing your hand to the appropriate position before making the succeeding parry. Mix and vary your parries so that the opponent cannot set an attacking plan. The habit of always reacting to attacks with the same type of parry will obviously play into the hands of an observant opponent. Thus, it is wise to vary the type of parry used as much as possible during a bout to keep the opponent guessing. This will cause a certain amount of hesitation on the part of the attacker, whose offensive action will suffer in confidence and penetration. What will make parries or blocks more effective? Body positioning, footwork, moving in, circling to facilitate ready countering. Watch out for the opponent's counter. Experiment sweeping the parry toward the opponent's path. Natural, easy movements. Examine parries with all kinds of dodging, shifting, slipping, weaving, ducking, snapping, back, for possible insertion of kicks or a combination of kicks and or punches. Insert stopping and covering with kick and punch insertions. Also be sure to constantly threaten the opponent with inserts during apparent shifts to various directions, commitments, so as to always be positioning on guard. Manipulations, the beat. If the opponent is exceptionally fast and will not go for feints, the beat can be used. Beat is a crisp movement of the hand made against the opponent with the object of knocking it aside or obtaining a reaction. Usually the reaction of the fighter to beat back will offer the advantage of staying ahead of the opponent's movement throughout. Because of the distance, the beat cannot be made at will. The correct opportunity must be waited for and seized. The opponent's continual change of hand position, often in the form of half feints and false attacks, will bring the hand well within the reach of the beat. Although a beat followed by a direct attack can be successful, beats generally bring about a covering movement to the side on which the hand has been beaten. Thus makes a direct attack a difficult stroke to bring off. It is advisable, therefore, to take advantage of such reactions by following the beat with an indirect or compound attack. The beat should be made from the normal guard position into the line in which the hands are engaged. If a change of engagement is made to the beat on another line, the action is called a change beat. Making the beat sharp and as close to the hand as possible. There are three purposes to making beats on the hand. To open the line by force or by the right amount of crispiness on the opponent's tension spring to secure thread-like penetration as a feint before an attack. As an invitation to opponent's attack, especially after obtaining his cadence. In the first case, the beat on the hand should be made sharply and quickly. Practice trapping or hand immobilization with these two qualities along with the small facing bent knee stance. In the second case, the beat should be light and fast as to pass the hand quickly and execute the attack. In the third case, it should be made lightly and not too quickly, at the same time being ready to either parry the attack, counter time it, or follow with the second light and fast beat to counter attack. The bind. When the hand is engaged, the action of carrying the opponent's hand diagonally across from a high to a low line, or vice versa, is called a bind. It is performed much like a semicircular pyramid. The cross. The cross carries the opponent's hand from the high to the low line on the same side of engagement and does not, as in the bind, carry it diagonally across. It is not executed from low to high. The envelopment. The envelopment is the action of taking the opponent's hand off its target in a circular motion and returning it to the line of engagement. The pressure. The pressure is the action of pressing upon the opponent's hand in order to deflect it or obtain a reaction to disengage from it. The beat is used prior to a direct attack or to obtain a reaction for an indirect attack. The bind, coice, envelopment, and pressure are mainly elements of trapping prior to indirect attack or are simply used to obtain a reaction. Good job, guys.